Hey guys, what's going on? In today's video, I'm going to teach you how you can build this N8N workflow, which will basically transform any product image into a professional AI generated product photo for your Shopify store or for your e-commerce store, guys, whichever you are on, guys. Okay, so all we are really doing, we're taking literally a product link from anywhere. It can be Google, it can be AliExpress, it can be any source, guys. So if I go to my spreadsheets here, you can see I have image URL, not even an image itself, just a URL. And then we're gonna be pushing it through this workflow right here, which uses LLM, which is basically OpenAI, and also OpenAI to analyze image, and also OpenAI to generate image. So essentially a OpenAI stack in here, and it's gonna give you this polished and professional product photo, just with this product image as a input. Okay, guys, so I'm going to teach you how you can do it yourself, and also if you are a Shopify merchant or if you're planning to open a Shopify store, this is really useful because we all know the hassle of creating product images. If you're doing it the right way, you need the model, you need the photographer, you need somebody to edit it, to adjust the light, a lot of things, guys, a lot of moving parts. So you can do all of this with N8N workflow for a fraction of a cost. And at the same time, I'm going to teach you the basics of N8N and how it works. So you can go ahead and download this workflow for free. Just below the video in the description box, there's going to be a link, and start generating these really, really cool product images for your e-commerce business, for example. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into it right away. So in N8N, everything starts with a trigger node right here. So our N8N trigger is a manual trigger, okay? So every time I click on execute workflow, it's gonna essentially trigger the workflow. And what's gonna happen, it's gonna first pull the images from the spreadsheet in here, guys, okay? So if I open it up, again, the options in this node are pretty fundamental. The operation is get rows because we are getting rows from this sheet, okay? So we need to get the rows, which include the image URL as reference for our AI. And again, then we are getting it from the spreadsheet right here, which also, by the way, I will include in the with the template, guys, so you have the template and the workflow, so you don't have to do any spreadsheet operations, okay? So cool, guys. So we're pulling the images from the spreadsheet right here, and then we're gonna be sending it to a HTTP node, which is using a get method, because when we are getting something, we need to use a get method to get it. So literally we're getting it from the spreadsheet, so we're using a get method from here. Again, nothing really crazy. The way we are getting the actual image is by using the expression, okay? So how did I get this expression here? If I delete it right here, and if you look to the right, to the left side, guys, you guys gonna see I have this JSON, okay? So I have this JSON essentially, and this JSON includes a lot of data, okay? Well, not all of data, but a few data points. And the one I'm interested in is the image URL, okay? And this is coming from the spreadsheet, okay? If you guys look here on the input, it says get image URLs, and this is coming from the spreadsheet, okay? So all I really need to do, I just need to take this one and drag it in here, guys. And that's all it takes, guys. That's how easy to work with expressions in N8N. So now we are feeding the URL, which is basically the images. And if I view them, guys, you guys can see these are the images from there. All right, so what's happening next, guys? We are sending it to a wait node. So why we do that? Because when we are working with APIs and HTTP requests, we always, well, it's a good practice to give a bit of a buffer. So here we're only giving it 2 seconds. So we don't send off the image too fast to the API, because that can crash the API. So it's a really good practice. Then we're sending it off to a analyze images, which is essentially a official OpenAI node to analyze images, okay? And prompt is simple. All I really want, I want the AI to explain in less than 5 words what is in this image, okay? So it's gonna say something like this, guys. You guys can see the content. This is either sunglasses, okay? And then it's gonna give the description and also the binary data of the image to the LLM in here. And what it's gonna do now, it's gonna give the binary data of the image, okay? And also the description of what's on that image. And then our LLM, or OpenAI essentially, will generate the prompt for generating that image. That will be right here, okay? So how are we getting all of these ones? So image description is essentially JSON content. And if you guys can see here, if I delete this one, it's coming from the analyze images node. If I drag it in here, you guys can see it's an expression, and that's how we can feed expressions between the nodes. And here we have a prompt, okay? This is a system prompt, and this is how we are basically describing what do we want to generate as the image itself, okay? Because if we don't have this one, the AI will basically regenerate most likely the same sunglasses without the model and person in there. So here we are giving a basic prompt, create a short prompt for an AI image generator that receives a photo of this product to ultimately produce professional product photography, okay? Because we need to say, hey, you need to create a prompt, otherwise it's gonna say something like, oh, I can't see the image, or I cannot do this, I can do that. So you need to specifically explain to the AI what it's supposed to do, because this LLM in here, this LLM block, it cannot generate the images. So it's gonna give you a basically response, hey, I cannot generate images, but I can give you some suggestions. And now we are generating a polluted data, because if it's going to say something like, oh, I can help you or assist you with generating an image, this is going to go to OpenAI node right here that's supposed to generate image, and that's going to give you a bunch of gibberish as an image result, okay? So important that you need to explain to the LLM in here that you just want the prompt, and that's essentially what we're doing here. And also we are expanding a little bit on what's the format. You guys can see here I'm mentioning DSLR photography, which is basically the camera type. Then we have, shallow depth of field, ISO, colors, realistic skin tones, stuff like that. So we can get something like this as a final result. Otherwise, it's going to give you that AI-ish plasticky feel to the image. Alright guys, and the LLM chain itself is useless, so we need to add the model here. You guys can see I have model attached, and since we're generating just a prompt or just text or raw text, I'm using GPT Mini, because I'm not really generating an image here, I'm just generating the prompt for that image. Okay, guys, then we're gonna move on to a merge node. So what merge does, basically, it's gonna be merging the data into a single file in a sense, right? Because here we have multiple images. For example, we have multiple images incoming. We need to merge that into a single data field in a sense, and that's what the merge node does. It's gonna merge all of these two inputs into a single one, and then we're gonna send it off to a OpenAI here, guys. You guys can see. So here we are sending off the images, this image and that image, because we had two images initially on the spreadsheet here. So we are sending that to OpenAI to generate a brand new image with the image reference plus the prompt, okay? So here we're doing it basically using a HTTP node. We're using post method because we're sending something to the API, because we need to send the request, and to do that, we need to use a post method, okay? For credential, we are using our OpenAI account, and to have your own in here, under the credential type, I already have OpenAI because I've created my account already. So that's why I have an option in here. But in your case, it might not be the case. So what you need to do, you need to go here under the second drop-down menu and then create a new credential, okay? So here you're gonna go to OpenAI API platform, guys. Let me show you that quickly. OpenAI API, you're gonna log in, and let me just go to API platform, guys, quickly. You're gonna go here to settings, then you're gonna go to API keys. You're gonna generate a new API key, right? And once you're done, you're gonna go to billing. Make sure to add a credit card and add some credits, because without the credits and credit card, the API key is pretty much useless. Once you have the API key with the billing and the credit card added, go back to your N8N, copy paste that API key in here, guys, and you're gonna be good to go. Okay, guys, a couple of things we are doing here. So the content type is a form data, because we are sending basically a bunch of params, and for that we are using body params, and it's a form data, okay? It's not a binary, we are sending a form data, and name is the model and value is GPT-1 image. So these are basically references to the OpenAI's API GPT image 1. You can get it from the official documentation from OpenAI API documentation. So I'm pulling these ones from there. So these aren't coming from a thin sky, right? And what else we're selling? We are also sending a prompt, okay? So that's why we're using form data, because we're sending multiple params. So we are sending a model name, then we're sending the prompt and the value of the prompt, right? And then we're sending the image and what is the type. Image is going to be a data type, okay? And then we're sending quality is high, and a bunch of other parameters. For example, size will be 1024 by 1024, or a square image, okay? So essentially that's what we're doing here. We're setting a body with a bunch of content type params in a sense, okay? And for you to understand which ones you can send to OpenAI, again, go to OpenAI API documentation, and you will find all of these in there. Okay, guys, and once we do that, we're gonna receive a image. We're gonna receive the image from the OpenAI's API. which will be essentially a bunch of gibberish. Okay, you guys can see. So we received this once we generated the image. We received this, which is basically a bunch of gibberish, and this is a B64, which is basically a type of binary code or computer language. So computers think in binaries, zeros and ones. So this is sort of a type of binary. So this doesn't mean anything to us or to N8N. We need to convert this binary or base 64 to a data. And to do that, essentially we are inputting the field of the name. Okay, so this is really important here, because here we're not supposed to use an expression. Here we actually need to type a static text. Okay, so data, then it's going to be a .b64 under dash JSON. Okay, and all this coming from here, guys. If you look on the left side, you guys can see this coming from here, data array of 0. Okay, b64 under dash JSON. Okay, so when you're working with convert base 64 to file, always make sure this is static, not an expression. Okay, so once we convert the binary to data, we're gonna have our images, guys. If you can see, so we are receiving this from our binary data. You guys can see now these are actually proper images, and now this is essentially a data or converted binary into a data, or this is essentially an image in a sense. So now we want to send this and upload to our Google Drive, and to do that, guys, we're gonna go back to JSON in here quickly, and the data we want to get, input data, or basically the name of the data we want to get is the data, because that essentially our images. So we're getting the data and we are uploading it to our Google Drive, guys. And if we, for example, open it again here, I can actually have this link right here. So we can actually preview it immediately. So from Google Drive, guys, so if I open it up, you guys can see this is a link directly from the Google Drive. So essentially we downloaded the data or the image and uploaded that into Google Drive. And then Google Drive generates these links right here, because we will need those so we can add them as expressions into our spreadsheet. Okay, so you guys can see image URL, the final output, sorry guys, so final output, because that's the final image output. So here we're using a web view link, and if I scroll down here, I got it essentially from here, guys. It's just hard for me to find it now. There's a lot of here it is, guys. Okay, so essentially that's where we're getting it from. If I delete, for example, the final output, okay, and if I plug it in here, guys, it's gonna be the same thing, guys. You guys can see here's the final output, or if I just copy paste that link again in here, you guys are gonna see I have the same image. Okay, so that's essentially how the expressions work in this case scenario. Okay, guys, and that's it. And if you want to generate images for different products, for example, let me just refresh this quickly. Okay, so let me just delete these ones quickly so we can kind of do a clean slate. Whoops, not this entire thing. This one's here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I will essentially find a new product. So I'm just gonna take this Nike t-shirt I got from Google. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna copy the link and I'll bring it here to image URL. I'll copy paste that. Cool, guys, so now we have this, and now let's just rerun our workflow. So now it's gonna do the same thing, and it's gonna pull this image and generate an image around this Nike t-shirt right here, guys. Okay, so let's give it a moment. And if we see analyze image, it says Nike branded white t-shirt. Okay, so now we're gonna create an image around that. Okay, so this is good to go. Let's go and check it out. I have the image in here, guys. Let me go back to spreadsheet. So here we have our final output. So if we click on it, guys, now I have a professionally generated Nike t-shirt image that I can go ahead and put on my Shopify store, for example, guys. Okay, so you can guys see the actually logo and the text was well preserved, which is pretty cool, guys. So the quality of the final result is pretty awesome in my opinion. Alright, guys, and that's about it. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. If you have any questions about the workflow or N8N or AI in general, leave a comment below and I'm gonna reply and help you out, guys, personally. If not, make sure to download this template for free. It's gonna be available in the description box. And as always, I'm gonna wish you happy building. Make sure to like and subscribe and enable those notifications so you get notified when the next video drops. And I'm gonna see you next time.